Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm currently sitting on the seated spin bike, or whatever it's called. This new bit of kit that I won't be using because I hate going on the bike to do cardio. The pump I get, the lactic acid buildup in my quads is brutal, so I opt for the treadmill, which I did. I have done all my cardio on. Through off seasons, through preps. I just enjoy doing it on the treadmill. Never really gone towards the bike much. But yeah, thought it'd be a quite good setup to just do an intro for the YouTube. This week, what we're going to be covering is just myself going into a bit more detail on my training, give you like a summary of this week's training, give you some footage to watch. Literally just going to skim through this week's training and give you an insight of what has been going on this week. Another week of base volume. We do move in next week to full intensity, which will last for 2 weeks. So I will be doing that for the next 2 weeks, I'm looking forward to. But this last week has just been base volume, working on just hitting straight sets, straight back offs, top sets, back offs, some straight set movements. But basically what I kind of wanted to go into was how well training's gone this week in terms of progression. Really good. Very, very happy with this week's training. It feels like got to that point now in the off season where we're kind of just starting the off season. Sounds weird, but we've been going for 10 weeks. This was week 10, and body weight's at the point now where I thrive, where I absolutely thrive, and where training is at its peak. Every single time I've kind of hit this body weight or gone over, because I'm over that body weight now, but I'm at a point in training where everything just I feel invincible on the movement. Some of you might be able to relate to that when you're in that off-season kind of state, and you know, food's at a decent amount where it's, you know, not too high where you're struggling, but at a point where you're feeding the muscle and it's doing its job. You know, cardio's in a place where we're just keeping heart ticking over and heart healthy, and making sure that we are keeping endurance at a place where it's helping us during sessions. The bike's just starting, which we don't want it to, but where was I? Yeah, so the training's been going very, very well. You know, I'm at the point now where progression is obviously being made weekly, but in slightly bigger jumps than normal. So if I turn this off, I don't think I can. So yeah, progression's making bigger jumps than normal, which is really good. Okay, it stopped. It's making bigger jumps than normal, which is really good to see. You know, I'm not really forcing my progression. I always go back to the logbook, and I always write my week out for the week ahead in terms of what I need to hit to progress. So it's not like I'm going in the gym and once I'm here, I'm not feeling movements and kind of guessing numbers and increasing by 10 kilo. It's always if I'm increasing load, it's always by 1.25 to 2.5, unless the set was very, very easy and I increased my 5 kilo side. Other than that, it's literally just spending weeks progressing on reps, progressing on execution. You know, I'll probably spend 3, 4, 5 weeks on just reps and execution alone. I won't even touch the load. That for me is where I'm at a good place with my progression, where I know load can stay there, and I'm at a good place knowing where my rep ranges are and where my failure points are, that I can spot on hit failure in a rep range, and focus on progressing those reps over time. And each time I come into a session and go for an extra rep, that extra rep is brutally hard, and I might not get it, I might just match, but that for me, if I match on a rep on a set, that for me is a good sign to where I know where my failure points are, and where I'm very, very clued up on where my failure points are. because that's where we want to be initially. We want to be getting to a set, and we want to hit that failure point. So if I can do that on a weekly basis at the same rate, but slightly increase reps over time, then I'm doing my job properly. And I would never come into the gym and try and cheat reps and just try and, say if I increased a set by 2 or 3 reps, which has happened, it's happened before, but it's mainly happened just because it was at the start of the off season where strength is kind of going in this direction very, very quickly. But if that does happen on a random week, I kind of know that form wasn't the same. I might have cheated a rep, range of motion might not have been as good. So we kind of got to look at it in that sense as well. We just got to be careful of how I kind of attack things and, keep things tight within the logbook. And so one of the reasons why I like using the logbook is because I don't cheat, because I can't cheat because the numbers are already written down. Like I said, I write my own numbers out the week before. So today's Sunday, I'll write my numbers out for next week, all across Monday through till Saturday sessions. So I just have to go in the gym and tick boxes, and whatever it says on the page is what I do. And for me, that's just how I've always done training. It's kind of a forced training approach, to where it doesn't really matter how I feel on the day. Those numbers get hit regardless. Some might say that's quite an unsafe way of training, because you might go in one day and feel a bit shit and not have the energy to do that. But for me, that's just an excuse, and it's not something I've kind of ran into. Don't get me wrong, I've come into a session and been a bit tired than the session before, but I just got to wake up and do the work that's required to progress. And if that means just matching the set from last week, then we just match. But it's very, very rare that I drop a weight or drop a rep or have to take load off the bar than I did last week. That for me is a sign that something's going wrong in my life outside the gym, whether that be stresses, whether that be, I can't really say food related, because food gets put spot on, but it might just be a range of motion thing. It might just be, maybe I had a little niggle the week before and I'm trying to get that sorted. Things like that, little things like that, but it rarely happens. So I'm going on a bit of a tangent now. I need to just talk for 7 minutes. This is what happens when I get on the camera and thoughts just go around in my head. But I do like to relay onto here. The reason why I like doing YouTube, it's I hold a lot up here, which I know sometimes isn't healthy and sometimes is detrimental to maybe stress related, which is the reason why I started doing YouTube. Was because I like to talk, I like to get things out. It makes me feel better. It makes my mind feel clearer. And I know there's people out there that probably don't speak to a lot of people and hold a lot of things up here, and they don't realize how much of a detriment it's having on just their day-to-day life in terms of mentality. And maybe they're not into training as much as I am, but I use the training as a form of output for myself, emotionally and just physically, as I'm sure everyone else who trains does. So I just use this to relay information about my bodybuilding journey. It's good for me to look back on. It's nice for me to go back now and look back at my preps, because I've captured and done content for all of my preps. So I say all, I've done like 2 preps, but my 2 preps that I've done, I've captured and I've documented on a weekly basis. So it's very, very good for me to go back on and have a look at my mentality, what it was like. What am I talking about? What's my language like on a weekly basis? What am I sounding like 2 weeks out? Am I sounding like 4 weeks out? The difference from that. I mean, if you watched the videos leading up to the show, you probably realised that my it was probably getting a bit, I don't know, I'll have to look back on it. I don't actually know myself, but I haven't looked back on it in a while. But for me, I get more and more focused as the weeks go on in prep. So for me, the talking doesn't really get. It probably gets more intense. Probably gets more. I probably talk more because I just get more and more into it and more focused on the goal in hand. But that's always in. I'm going on another sidetrack. Anyway, gonna go over some training. This is what I wanted to put on the video, just an insight into Monday through till Saturday training. 4 sessions, 4 training day split at the moment. Monday's chest and arms, Tuesday's pull, Thursday's leg day, and Saturday's delts and arms. So I'm going to put 2 or 3 videos up, potentially do a voiceover on them and show you what training's like. But yeah, appreciate you watching. Maybe you can take something from the training, I don't know. But I might do a voiceover and talk through it with you as well, and just show you a bit on setup and a bit on form and what training's going like at the moment. Cheers, guys. So into this voiceover segment of the video, just kind of going to go run through the training of the week. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I lowered the volume enough on the training videos. But starting with push, our first push session of the week. So chest and arms. Opening with this pec fly. Probably one of my favourite movements of all time for chest. It's a basic movement. Everyone's done it. Everyone's been there. I think it should be a staple in all of your chest sessions. Just in terms of it literally does the movement for you. All you have to do is push your chest out. You'll see I'm using you might have just seen then, I cut it too soon, but I was using a foam block behind me. You can see in that video actually, in this video. That literally pushes my chest up. So it helps me retract my shoulders back, keeps them away from the actual movement, just allows me to contract the chest better. These are my last flies. We do like a press fly kind of motion in the chest session. This was the last movement of the chest day. Just some kind of lower chest work with some flies after doing all my chest work. These are great. I've only recently started doing these with the bench there. I'm really trying to get underneath the chest, and the stretch is amazing. Probably one of the best parts of movement, the stretch, because you can really take it really far because you're forcing yourself down. A very good cable stack to use it on as well. Second session of the week is obviously back, so we got pull, back and calves for me it is. So starting stiff legs. Again, I just love lifting heavy stuff off the floor, so this movement is always one of my favourites, whether it's an RDL, conventional deadlift, stiff leg, block pulls like I'm doing here. I'm doing them on blocks because if I try and do it off the floor, it's an awkward movement for me because I'm tall, and we really want to get most out of the movement by doing it from blocks. So that's what we're trying to do here. Use the back as much as possible, take out the hamstrings and glutes. The glutes are going to come into the session, into the set, because they're obviously going to force the hips through, but we try and use the back almost every single rep and get the most out of there, the lower lats and the erectors, which are going to be thick. So another row. This is one of our first rows. It's actually a lat row. You see my hands are in a neutral position, trying to target those lats. Not really upper back. I've got the seat as high as possible on this, so really trying to force the elbows down and back, rather than upper back movement, which would be out and up kind of thing, rowing back towards the upper back. This is more lats. A very good love prime as well, so a very good movement here. One of the last movements of this pull session are just some standard wide grip lat pull downs. Again, these have been a staple ever since I started training, so I'm enjoying kind of doing them again and bringing them back into the session, because I haven't done them in years. But this is a new, I think it's a Cybex lat pull down that we just got in the gym. So ever since that touchdown, I've been using it back on there. Luke put it back in my plan, so very happy about that. I mean, for me, it's just grip and rip kind of thing, and making sure that I'm pulling straight down with the bar. You'll see it doesn't really go out of the. It's on a very straight plane, the bar, because I'm pulling down with my elbows, not like back. So I'm hitting solely lats and getting a very, very good stretch on there. Thursday's session, which is legs, quads, hamstrings, glutes. I don't split my leg sessions up into hamstrings and quads. We literally just hit them all on the same day. Volume is fairly middle ground at the moment with legs. Top sets can range from 6 reps up to 8 to 10s. Back offs range from 12 to 14s to 20s, which I think should be in everyone's leg session, a mix of both. And the overall goal with legs is to get strong in all rep ranges, not just one. So you don't just want to look at your top set and think I need to get strong in this. You have to look at your back off set and want to get strong in that as well, a 20 rep range. This is probably my favourite movement, or was last week, because this set was a very, very good set for me. Hip press, we've stacked it with 5 plates aside. We've got a green band on there and a purple band, as you can see, just to cause some more resistance in the top of the movement, and 30 kilo on top worth of dumbbells. So we're trying to maximise this. I'm actually going to switch this to 2 green bands this week and see what I can get on there, because it's not heavy enough. As you can see, I'm trying to find ways to make it harder, slowing the negative down to like 4 or 5 seconds. It's a very, very good movement. I'm really, really enjoying it. Just trying to get the most out of it, literally. I'm trying to make it as hard as I can. Top set on this is a 8 to 12. Back off is a 15 to 20. So a good use of rep ranges for this movement. Very much enjoying this at the moment. The good old hack squats on the Cybex hack squat, which we've been on for quite some time now. This was my kind of first proper week at 6 plates aside. I touched 6 plates a few weeks ago. Didn't feel right. It was too soon. I wasn't ready. Bodyweight was not in a place to be touching 6 plates just yet. So I took some time. I took about another 3 to 4 weeks to work my way up. I'm adding pause reps in now. Trying to anyway. I need to spend longer in this hole this coming week. That was better. But just trying to pause in the hole again, because I struggle with my patellar tendons when I start to kind of go rep after rep and don't really pause too much. My patellar tendons flare up, my knees flare up. So I'm trying to stop this, but still use some decent load, because I still want some growth, obviously, from quads, because I think hack squats are such a beneficial movement if you can get it right, if your form can stay good and stay on the muscle. So yeah, just going to build that up really. And last session of the week, which is our push 2. So delts and arms to finish the week. A very good session. This is probably my best delt session of this whole push phase so far. A very good set on this incline Smith, which I'm really enjoying, getting used to pressing some decent load on this again. But I was just able to stay much tighter this week, much more in control of what I was using, whereas before I was kind of shitting myself, to be honest, about the loads I was using. This time I was very, very confident that I had the set in hand, I felt invincible, as some of you can relate to in an off-season, peak off-season, when you're this body weight, and not really touching peak body weight, just heavy and full of food, and just in control of every single thing you do, every rep you do. So that's kind of where I am at the moment, in a very good place with training. This is a new shoulder press for me. Just came into the gym the other week. So first time using it was this session you're watching now. 2 top sets on here, 1 back off. It's a mad movement because of the way I'm sat and the way I'm lying on the bench. I've never really done a shoulder press in this position, so my shoulders were not expecting this kind of movement, so they did feel a bit weird in the set, to be honest. So we're just going to have to get used to it. Want to work up to some decent load on this as well, because I think I can, and I think it's going to be very, very beneficial to get some really good thickness on my delts, with it being a second press movement as well. And then just finishing with some triceps, cuff push downs, crossbody. Love single arm work for arms. I think majority, bar one or two movements for my arm work, is single arm. Again, just isolating the hell out of the tricep or bicep. Really trying to load it quite heavy. This is, some decent load on here as well. I haven't really gone over this load in terms of tricep work, but I feel it massively. It doesn't really, my shoulders don't really take over in this movement, even though I'm kind of bent over slightly. They don't really take over that much.